Hey everyone, Behrus here, worker with Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm with you today for reviewing the stats of month of September and having my interpretation of what's going on in the market based on what I understand of inflation and the interest rates that coming afterwards by the end of this month by Bank of Canada, and also so many other things, because we are the people who have a foot on the ground and making these numbers, as I have explained to you before, with buyers like you, with sellers like you, we are making these numbers. So if the numbers are high and exciting, that means that we have done a very well done job for you. So with that in mind, we are delving into the stats for the month of September for you today. One thing for sure is that you have to know number of houses that we have for sale is much more than last year, but historically we are not that great. That means that number of listings that's coming up on the market is not enough, because number of sales is much lower than what we were expecting. And what we have seen historically is almost 50% less than last year, and it's almost 10% less than historically what it was supposed to be. So by that we mean that supply is an issue in Toronto GTA area. You know that immigration is at the highest level possible. You know that employment level in the Toronto GTA area. Toronto GTA area is one of the most desirable locations for people to move in to work. And so many other factors that if you delve into this, it's going to take much longer, and we are not even able to cover all of this, because as I said before, us realtors, we are here to help you move from point A to point B with knowing the dynamic of two neighborhoods or towns. That is for the supply and the number of inventories that we have. Price wise, we are much higher than last year. We are almost 3% over than last year, and from the beginning of the year we are almost 14% higher than what we started the year from. So we have a lot appreciated over this year so far, with all that we know that the market has corrected itself, and with all that we hear on the media that whoever who bought during the March and February until March and February has made a big mistake. But that's not true. In reality, this is an ever appreciating region, and what those people are closing their eyes on is that if those property that's been transacted and bought or sold, if those property that's been bought and owned by new people are not are not the properties of value, of great value, of what we know, meaning that the square footage, the location, the position inside the location, and everything else, meaning if that's not correct, or if the purpose of buying was only for speculation purposes, those buyers unfortunately have to wait for a little bit longer for that profit to materialize before they sell. Moving into the stats and looking at the details of what we have in terms of number of inventories, Durham region in the east side of GTA area is still lacking severely of supply of housing. By that, you can understand that the price appreciation in that region should be much significantly higher than any other region. For that reason, you have to look at pre-construction if you're looking at purchasing or investing in real estate for the sake of price appreciation in the areas with lower number of supplies. But you have to have that filter. You have to have that filter of what the economy of that region looks like in order for you to understand the value of those regions, and to counter argue with whoever who's just proposing to you the value of those regions, to understand their point as well, and also to justify if you're making a good decision or not. So economy of that region is also coming afterwards, after you've realized that there is a huge demand for housing in those areas with the lower number of inventories. and also with an opportunity to invest and have a price appreciation there. But looking into the details, in the condo market, we have seen price appreciation that is on average and almost above average, even though we had more number of listings and less number of transactions in the condo sector than in the freehold sector, especially in the detached sector. By that, I'm going to bring you to the fact that I explained to you in the previous videos again. And that is that to the amount of your investment, you have to consider that amount of investment if you're looking at the appreciation level. For instance, if you're buying a condo at $500,000, if your property appreciates to the level of, let's say, $20,000 a year, that is much more significant than having a detached house within the $2 million range, and that property appreciates for $10,000, $20,000 a year. That means that the soundness of your investment has to be examined if you cannot qualify that you have made a great decision of buying and investing in a condo, keeping it for long term, and appreciation of year over year of 5% is much greater in condo sector, in the lower range sector. That brings me back to the levels that we have seen in the stats. If you look at the breakdown of the price ranges that the property has been sold or transacted over this September or over any other year, what I have again in the videos of last year explained to you was that majority of transactions are now happening in the closer to 2 million, above 2 million, but nowadays majority of transactions are happening below $1 million, $1.2 million, and $1.5 million. These are the ranges that you have to look at. That shows that the affordability is now dropping based on the significant increases in the interest rates that we have had over the past 2 years. And yet again, we are in the historically average environment for the interest rates. So what happens is that the customer sentiment has changed. For that reason, we don't have enough transaction. We have depression in the market in terms of seller not even taking a low offer, because they think that's low according to the sentiment that they are experiencing in the market. So you see how difficult that is when you not knowing these details of the stats, and you are reviewing the stats and only deciding on number of inventories or an average sales stats, sales numbers, sales prices, and so many of these abstract level stats to decide. For you, the best option is to understand what is underlying these high level stats, and deciding to consult with somebody who has boots on the ground, who's helping you understand these numbers, who's trying to invest time in your understanding of the market and lets you to decide by yourself based on the plain and no filter numbers that he or she is presenting to you. That's it for the end of this video. I encourage you to review the slides that we have on our Instagram and review those slides along with this video. I know that it's a switch between the YouTube videos and Instagram, which is going to be a little bit problematic, but after reviewing these videos, I hope that you understand the stats much more better than people who are not watching this. If you find this video useful, share that with your friends, family, and let us help them as well. Thank you very much for watching the video. Have a great day. See you on the next video. Bye.